What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Obviously, we're back in the race shop, still getting ready for next weekend's race at Montgomery. Got a little bit of work to do to that car, nutting and bolting, just simple stuff, checking over it before we leave. And this car, we are changing a bunch of stuff on, really. Since it's come back from the Rattler anyways, we've changed the seat, changed the belts, changing some front geometry stuff to make it a little more similar to the other car, and now we're changing some stuff on the rear end. So we're gonna get that done, and then we will get to work on the car that's going to Montgomery. So let's get into it. All right, got the third link put in this car. We had it lengthened out a little bit so that we could run that other style mount on the rear end over the old left-hander one that we had been running. And I got my belts put in there last weekend. After I ended the video, I decided to put them in there. We'll have to put them, same kind of belts in that car as well, in the left-hander that's going to Montgomery. Dad has been working on front end geometry on this car. Like I said, like we've said this entire time since we started the channel and just started building this car, you know, it's a big step building your own chassis, you know, start to finish. Most of this car is stuff we made, or, you know, stuff we've had a part in making at least. So, and the chassis is 100% us, you know, geometry and all that was all just what we thought would work. So you're gonna have things that need to be changed. You're gonna have to burn some powder coat and cut up and redesign, and we knew that. That's a part of building a race car. Very seldom I think people just put together a race car, take it to the track, and take off winning with it, you know. So we're changing it to make it better. We'll keep on doing that until this thing's a front-running race car. If that means we gotta cut everything off of it and redo. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, then it is what it is. We knew that going into it, so we're getting there on it. So as y'all just saw, got a new carburetor put on this car. We went and had one of our old carburetors freshened up by Pink, because we've been running a Pink carburetor all of this year for the 2 races we've run. But he's done a really good job with our stuff, so we sent him another one to have it rebuilt, since we couldn't afford to have a brand new one from him, and just got it thrown on there and got the floats set and all that. I imagine it'll be as good, just as good as the other one we have from him, so we appreciate him hooking us up with our carburetor stuff. All right guys, it's now the next day. We are finishing up that car, the left-hander, and we need to run the motor a little bit to work on the fuel neck because there's fuel in the neck right now. So while we're waiting on that, I figured I would do this. As most of you know, I'm a machinist, or if you don't know, you do now, but I've mentioned it a time or two on this channel. So we needed some like little washers that hold a bump spring on the shock body, or on the shaft of the shock, and we needed like 6 or 7 more. So obviously if you're a machinist, that's not a big deal to make. Pretty simple little part. So that's a big advantage of being in this trade. You get to a lot of stuff on a race car you can make yourself. But either way, these are gonna get anodized, so I'm throwing them in some simple green right now to let them wash off. But I have a very basic caveman style setup, but I do aluminum anodizing as well. So that'll be something that hopefully helps me along my way when we get the VF2 in here and start machining parts, as I'll also be able to finish them if they're aluminum and be able to anodize them. So I may show y'all a little bit of that today. I don't know if I'm going to actually dye any of them, but we're going to anodize them today and hopefully harden them up just a little bit to where that bump spring won't eat them up as it loads up on the top and bottom of them. I figure I'll show you all the results there. I dyed one of them just to see if my dye was still good, kind of see what the shelf life was on it, and it turned out okay. I don't exactly love that color blue, which is why I used it on something personal, but like I said, there's one that hasn't been dyed and one that has, so you can see the color came out pretty good. Something neat I fool around with every once in a while is anodizing parts, and like I said, all the stuff we make for our own cars or for other people, we anodize if it needs to be, or if you just want it to look good or whatever. So thought that was pretty neat. All right guys, we're going to end this video off here. Like I said, as I've been saying, I feel like I've said it 100 times, probably because I have. Next weekend, Montgomery, round 2, the Show Me the Money series. We were the 5th entry in, so we'll be 5th from last to qualify. If you can't make it in person, it'll be live on Racing America. Just be looking for our Napa Auto Parts, Allied Bearing and Supply, Gateway Tire and Service, Dixie Diesel, Ford / also Chevrolet Pro Late Model. Be kind of hard to miss with our numbers. So, as always, we appreciate y'all watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the Montgomery video. Hopefully we're celebrating a win, or at least a better finish than what we had last time. And we will catch y'all next weekend at Montgomery.